WLWT News 5, leading the way with breaking news.
Just a devastating scene in Louisville over the past 24 hours after a UPS plane caught fire and exploded. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Lindsay Stone.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. Right now, at least 9 people are dead and 2 are in critical condition. Governor Andy Beshear has declared a state of emergency there. He's expected to talk alongside Louisville's Mayor Craig Greenberg at any moment now. We'll bring you that when it comes up live. But first, we do want to start out with WLWT News 5 anchor Mike Dardis, who has more on the rescue efforts and the recovery still underway right now. Mike.
Hey guys, you know, this is really an astounding number. 16 people unaccounted for. Can you imagine those families wondering and worrying what happened? Officials are saying they expect that death toll you talked about to go up. And now they're doing that news conference. We're going to go to it live right now in Louisville. Here it is.
Everybody good? All right. Good afternoon. It's now been about 23 hours since the catastrophic plane crash of the UPS flight that was headed from here, Louisville, Kentucky, to Honolulu. The mayor, the congressman, and I have just visited the site, both where the plane first impacted, both structures and the ground, and then when the last portion of it came to rest. As governor, I've seen a lot. I've had to order freezer trucks in a pandemic. I've walked the line of an F4 tornado through my dad's hometown. I've seen towns hit by flooding we'd only describe as biblical, and what this scene is violent. Where the plane hit, at best, is destroyed. What you see are mangled remnants of what was in its path, completely burnt and blackened. Where the plane hit and where the initial explosion happened, you have significant damage. And then, like a lot of these disasters, just 5 or 6 feet away, not even the paint is disturbed on another vehicle or another building. As we walked through, there were a couple things that I thank God for. The restaurant, fully intact, could have had a lot of people, could have caused additional losses of life. Those owners have opened up their restrooms that the first responders are able to use, and for that, we're grateful, and I look forward to thanking them in person. The other thing we see are first responders from all over the area working seamlessly. Until you see their actual shirt up close, you couldn't tell one was from one department and another was from a different one. Thankfully, there's been a shift change, and most of the individuals that were out all night heroically fighting a massive fire that is under control with only a few hot spots left. Thankfully, most folks that were out late last night are sleeping if they can sleep, with a whole new group that is out. Why? Because these departments are sending everybody. They are all working together. It's an incredible credit to cooperation. In tough news of the day, our fatality count is now up to 11. I expect it to reach 12 possibly by the end of the day. And there are a handful of other people that we're still searching for that we hope weren't on site and that we hear were somewhere else. The other piece of news is we are moving from a rescue to a recovery mode. We do not expect to find anyone else alive in the area. Because of that, we now move and put the safety of the first responders at the top of the list. And so we're going to have limited operations at night, because if you walk through this debris field, it's very easy for somebody to get hurt. And we want to make sure that everyone on site is safe. After disasters, we have lost people. And I don't want that to happen here. Not from a heart attack through overexertion, not through somebody tripping and hurting themselves at night. So these individuals have sacrificed for us. They've shown such incredible bravery, and we're going to make sure that we put their safety first. FBI is joining us today with our special agent in charge. They're going to be working with the NTSB on cataloging the debris and with debris removal. What that means is they'll be working through all of those reports that are coming in through the city, who did a great job in setting that website up very, very quickly. That's actually one of the newest innovations that I've seen in response to something like this. So, Mayor, thank you for doing that. But the FBI is going to provide their agents to go to those scenes. So if you've reported debris removal and the FBI knocks on your door, that's the reason. I think that's just important for people to know. They are cooperating and helping in this investigation, and we are grateful for them, grateful for our special agent in charge. For the 11 that we know we've lost, we're really hurting for their families. We believe that we'll learn that there was one child in those 11, and a young child at that, which makes it all the harder. So please remember that the images of yesterday may fade in people's minds over time, but the trauma that these families that have lost somebody yesterday are going through is going to last for years. And so Louisville and Kentucky are loving communities. We take care of our people. We just got to make sure that we are as strong as we push through this one as we've been through every other one, and we do not forget those that have been impacted. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, and then we'll hear from the congressman.
Thank you, Governor Beshear. Thank you for your leadership since the initial moments of this horrible tragedy, and for the cooperation and partnership between the state and local federal authorities. This is another example, as the governor just said, about how everyone is working so closely together. What we just saw at the crash site is devastating beyond words. The impact and intensity of the wreckage, of the charred wreckage, is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and certainly nothing that I ever want to see again.
All right, if you are just joining us, thanks for sticking with us here for News 5 at 4 o'clock. That was an update from Governor Beshear and Louisville's Mayor Craig Greenberg. And we now know that at least 11 people are dead. That death toll has gone up from what we knew to be 9 before. And unfortunately, that does include a child. They also said this has gone from a rescue mission to now a recovery mission.
And you could see the emotion in this crew's face as they talked about what they've experienced over the last 24 hours. Just a heartbreaking situation. We've also received an update just an hour before this press conference. The NTSB talking for the very first time. They arrived on the scene earlier today. Officials saying an engine detached from the wing of the plane during takeoff.
After being cleared for takeoff, a large plume of fire in the area of the left wing occurred during the takeoff roll. The plane lifted off and gained enough altitude to clear the fence at the end of runway 17R. Shortly after clearing that fence, it made impact with structures and the terrain off of the airport property. Now, we have viewed airport CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll.
We also have new video that shows the horrifying moments when that plane caught fire, tipped over, and later exploded. You see that here. The UPS plane was heading to Hawaii. It had 9 hours worth of fuel on board. The shipping company has confirmed 3 crew members were on board. The plane hit at least 2 businesses as it crashed: Kentucky Petroleum Recycling and Grade A Auto Parts. The crash leaving behind nearly half a mile of debris.
And of course, the scope of the damage here is still unknown. We are still trying to find out how many people are missing here.
And WWT News 5's Danielle Dindak is on the ground in Louisville. She has been speaking with families searching for their loved ones. Danielle, such an emotional day as well for you. Where are you and what are you seeing?
Lindsay, it's just a heartbreaking day down here in Louisville. Now, before I share the stories of some of the families who are just searching for answers tonight, I do want to kind of explain to you what we are seeing and where I am at right now. So right now, I'm actually right next to the UPS building and just steps away from air traffic control. But if you do look down this way, you can actually see this is actually a roadblock. All the way down there is actually a bit left of that scene. We have continued to see different trucks go all the way down there, and still first responders, as you just heard from Andy Beshear said that they're still here on scene trying to put out hotspots and different things like that. But from talking to people in the area, many are numb and in disbelief of what happened here just about 24 hours ago. That inferno in the sky, those explosions still fresh in everyone's mind. Here's the video of that horrific scene showing that UPS plane as it crashed just after takeoff, just after 5 p.m. last night. The plane, as you mentioned, hit at least 2 businesses. The NTSB is on scene. Their investigation is now underway. As for first responders, like I mentioned, they are still out here in full force, combing through the wreckage. The feeling out here is that the scope of this devastation is truly still unknown, as many brace for the worst.
Just the heat immediately that all of us felt was so terrifying. Seeing all of my friends and coworkers and customers in panic, it was like a movie, unreal. But you don't ever think it would happen to you. And then when it does, it's just, you don't even know how to deal with it, think about it, or deal with it, It's like something you have to see every single day in your mind over and over and over.
Just hard to put all of this into words. Now, one of the most heartbreaking parts of our day was when we were at the Family Unification Center. Now, when we were out there, we had a chance to talk to many families who are searching for their loved ones tonight. Many were crying, saying that they're just asking for people's prayers. They're holding on to hope. You can also see many were actually got there last night, saying that they're hoping for each other, that their loved one comes home. And of course, that's a hope for everyone tonight. But as Governor Andy Beshear said, it might be time now to brace for the worst. Now reporting live in Louisville, Danielle Dindak, WBT News 5.
Danielle, you mentioned you were at that reunification center, and I know you were speaking to these families. What did they say? How do you even begin to process something like this in this horrible waiting period?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think we were all just trying to process this all together. One family actually were hand in hand having a small prayer circle, telling us that they're missing 2 of their family members. Another group of just small young kids came up to us and they said that they were looking for their mother. Then 2 brothers were looking for their sister. It's just so hard to process all of this, especially as they could just continue to wait. Hopefully they get some good news tonight, but I think, like I keep saying, that as of right now, they might just be bracing for the worst.
Just a heartbreaking situation.